What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745, and welcome to the Spec Ops 27 task list. This is of course part 1, and it will cover everything up until the first research. We're going to try to take an in-depth look at most of the tasks, but there will be a few exceptions. With that being said, let's go ahead and begin with task number 1. Sinister Servos, Entanglement 1 of 25. Defeat 3 servo guards, and they can be found in Mission 1. Now right away on Spec Ops 27 Mission 1's map, you should hopefully see a medium threat with 3 different servo guards. Just defeat this threat and you'll get credit for task number 1. For this fight, we decided to bring in Spider-Man and Hybrid, and I would have brought in Agent Venom or even Anti-Venom, but they're both on my flight deck, so I didn't want to interrupt their missions. Anyways though, this is a very easy task, but even so, this first video is actually going to run kind of long. That's mainly because of the amount of bosses that you'll have to fight, and also the amount of dialogue that you'll have to go through. We're going to run through some of it, but not all of it, but I do recommend you check it out because the storyline is pretty interesting, and there's some very funny dialogue throughout. The devs really do a good job of telling or retelling some of these stories, and they often add Easter eggs or just some funny little lines here and there. Overall, I think they do a good job of capturing the essence of the characters. But hey, that's just me, you may just want to click through it, and I totally understand that as well. Okay, well with task number 1 down, we get 100 experience, and we can move on to task number 2. For this one, we have to complete any 2 deploys. This says complete them in Spec Ops 27, but I'm willing to bet that they'll count in any mission throughout the game. Luckily, we already had one ready to go in Spec Ops 27, so we'll go ahead and collect Blade, and with that we do get credit. There's also a little spoiler about there being another Spider-Man. But anyways, collecting our reward, we do manage a superior tech component, and I'm willing to bet we're going to need that for our researches. So the more of these we can get, the better. Then as far as our second deploy, we were running a mission in Season 2, and it turns out that we already had a bunch of deploys ready for pickup. I actually didn't even plan this, it just worked out. And just as I assumed, it does count. So there it is, task number 2 completed, and with that, 100 experience. Following task 2, you're going to see some dialogue pop up from Karn, and he will be our group boss. So yes, he does make a very early appearance, and I didn't expect to be fighting him this early. But hey, that's a good thing, because we can get started on collecting lockboxes, as well as silver. So that all starts with task number 3. Inheritor tax, Entanglement 3 of 25. All you have to do is spawn and fight your own group boss, and for that you're going to get 10 superior lockboxes. That's a guaranteed cover, so we'll take it. Now once you spawn him and select which friends to send him to, if I'm on your list, please send me him. Then you have 72 hours to battle him. But make sure you get in at least one fight and do 5% damage or more. I'm not going to show this whole fight in this video because it will be its own separate video, but I'm also working on the best team for him. Now don't get me wrong, I know Kurth and especially Null are tearing him apart right now, especially Meteor Swarm. But I am sure that that's going to be fixed. I would be very surprised if it lasts past today. So we have to kind of focus on his abilities and then build around it. The only real problem I have with him so far is he does do a lot of burst damage, and he can end up taking down one of your team members even before they get a chance. Still, I'm going to try Iron Man and all the other combinations, and we'll come up with something post Null and Kurth. Alright, so after you fight him, you'll get 10 lockboxes, and you can move on to task number 4. For this one, you have to defeat the Miniboss Vulture, and he of course can be found in Spec Ops 27 Mission 1. Simply complete enough threats until he appears on your map. Then once he does, you'll see the team up is going to be with Spider-Man. Spider-Man, show yourself. Agent, we don't know Spider-Man's location. You'll have to handle the Vulture until... I got this. Haven't dealt with Electro yet, but I can take a break long enough to deal with Captain Carrion here. This is good. We were concerned that we would have to settle for an inferior version. What do you mean inferior version? There's only one of me, buddy. Often imitated, never duplicated. Servo Guard, see Spider-Man. You know where to take him. He will be fuel for Octavius' machine. Alright, so we kind of know where that one's going. But for now, we're taking in Spider-Man and Iron Patriot. So we should make pretty quick work of these enemies. Luckily for Vulture, we missed that counter, or else he could be done already. But you know what? I do have to say the Sinister Six are actually pretty respectable now. In fact, after using a hailstorm, the enemy team is going to all counterattack, and it actually got a little bit scary. However, that's where it's going to end because on our agent's turn, we'll knock out the Vulture with one attack. And then with Iron Patriot up, it's 21 gun salute to end the entire fight. If you're keeping track at home, that's 4 tasks done. So now we're moving on to number 5. But first, let's get that sweet 200 experience. And now for task number 5, we have to defeat Electro, the end boss of Spec Ops 27 Mission 1. After this, we'll get a superior tech component, which we'll need for our first research. Spider-Man, time to go pay a visit to the Sinister Six. Sinister Six? I like it. Where are the oomph? Spider-Man. Agent, form up your team and get there as quickly as possible. Spider-Man may have just swung into an ambush. Oh no, we have to save him. And it looks like we're going to do that with Ultimate Spider-Man. So this should be pretty interesting. Spider-Man is down, but there's another Spider-Man? Step off, Sparky. Oh no, there's no stepping off. Doc Ock says he needs a spider, and I plan to bring him a spider. Thought I only had one option, but now it looks like a buffet. Doc Ock? Is he alive here? I've only heard about him. What the hell is he talking about? Alright, so in this one we have a chance to get the Mysterium Magna. This is a quick action. It causes disoriented to one enemy, and it grants mirror image. Illusions grant a 70% chance to avoid up to 2 single target attacks. Not too bad. Now let's see if we can win it. And we're going to team him up with, I guess, the Age of Ultron Hulk, why not? We're going to speed up the beginning part of this fight, and that's mainly because it's a massacre. And I want to get to the part where we use Ultimate Spider-Man. I will say though that the Age of Ultron Hulk and Iron Patriot are kind of a new fast clear team I've been using. They are both vicious attackers. And now with the first wave about to go down already, we're moving on to the boss himself. And unfortunately, Hulk is going to get the first turn. At this point I was actually worried that we were going to end up taking out the boss before Ultimate Spider-Man even got to attack. My agent's counterattacks were a big concern. So after Electro attacks us, and takes a counter, in fact he's going to take 2 counters, I then decided I'm going to use a Chrono Accelerator to at least see Miles in action. So hey, we do what we have to do, and trust me, it wasn't a disappointment. The only thing is I wasn't sure what attack we were going with first. I definitely wanted to see the Web Bomb, but first we end up using his Venom Sting. These are all fantastic animations, by the way, especially his level 9. Just check this out. I honestly was impressed. That's one of my favorite character animations probably in the game. And so I'm happy we got to use them, and after that, we can go ahead and finish off the enemies. I'm not sure why, but we actually decided to leave Electro for last. And so after using our Titanic Hurl, we do an epic overkill to the Servo Guard. It ends up working out because we get to see a cloaking proc. So Ultimate Spider-Man goes completely invisible. And then after that, he's going to counter Electro. That's pretty cool if I do say so myself. And we still get to use a giant-sized Hulk smash, even though it doesn't crit. That's the end of the first boss in Spec Op 27. And it's also going to complete task number 5. Once you finish, you get the blueprint for the flash portal grenade. You also get the superior tech component that you'll need. And if you want to research the other weapons, you're going to need plenty more of these later. So moving on to the boss roulette, let's see if we can win that new gadget. Alright, well instead we get a superior tech component, but like I've been saying, we're going to need a lot of those. So it's not the worst prize that we could win. Now as for the final task in this video, we have to go to the lab and research the flash portal grenade. So let's go ahead and click the link, and we find out it takes 8 hours, 40 unstable ISO weight, and 100 silver. So we'll begin that, and that concludes part 1 of the Spec Ops 27 task list. I hope it helped, and I want to thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for part 2, and please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck, and take care.